I, 27F, lost all respect for my partner, 29M. We moved across the country in April, and we were going to do everything 50/50ths. He lost his job, filed for unemployment. He said he was approved. But it's now December, and I've been doing this in my own. He recently reached out to a representative and said that things were moving. He left his email logged on my computer, and I saw in his email that it was denied, and he has put in an appeal. The hearing is set for January. He keeps telling me when I ask about it, he'll let me know when he hears something back. I asked him again today, after seeing the email yesterday. These emails are about 2 weeks old, and he said the same thing. This feels like the ultimate betrayal. I've asked him multiple times to get a job to help because I'm struggling, and he won't. I'm locked into a lease. All the bills are in my name. I feel so defeated, and I never want to date again. I love him, and I want so badly for this to work, but I can't see how it will. How do I bring this up if at all? What can I say or do to prevent myself from continuing to be taken advantage of? Can I repair this? Any advice or input would be appreciated. Update. Thank you for the people who reached out and gave me kind words, and thank you to everyone who gave their opinion and advice. It has helped me not feel crazy in all of this. So to clarify and elaborate few things for those who've asked. When we moved, I paid for everything out of pocket. Although we signed the lease together, I am the primary leaseholder, but that does not give me grounds to evict. When he lost his job, I told him that I would support us, but this was also under the pretense that his unemployment would come in and would end in October. Thus he would then get another job. At multiple points during the 8 months, I expressed that I was struggling, to which he responded that unemployment would come in soon. I make $24 an hour, and I've been working 45 plus HR work weeks. But now it's slow season, and I'm lucky if I can get 37. I accepted this under the promise that we would be getting weekly checks from unemployment. As time went on, I have become more stressed. So now for the update. I came home, ordered a pizza. And I asked him why he didn't tell me about the unemployment appeal, and why he lied to me about saying he hadn't heard anything. He said he didn't want to stress me out. So I walked away. He followed me all around our apartment. He said that I was treating him badly, and I was acting unstable. I told him that we should break up, and I went to go take a shower. He then followed me up to the bathroom and refused to leave, so I left. He followed me all the way to a park about a 15-minute walk away, and said that I obviously was thinking about this for a long time, and that he knew this was going to happen. He then asked how I knew, and I didn't answer. So he said that I either opened his mail or went on his computer, and that I was a shitty person for doing that. And if I could be upset and break up with him, then he was way more patient with me than he should have been in our relationship. He said that he didn't think I was a bad person, but that I needed help, and I should have gotten it a long time ago. So after he was done, we just walked back. He then cornered me in the bathroom again, and demanded a reason why I was breaking up with him. When I told him that he was right about everything he said, unstable, and I shouldn't be in a relationship, he went on to explain that just because I am all of those things, that doesn't mean that's who I am at my core. So I just went silent until he left me alone. It's been a few hours, and I've cried quite a bit. I just wish things were different, you know? It's like someone here said, I am in love with the fantasy and promises, not what is actually in front of me. And to the Redditor who implied I was shallow because I didn't stick it out, I would have, if he had just said he was sorry for lying to me. He should go get a job at Home Depot, Target, wherever. I can't stand when people feel too good to just get something instead of sitting on their ass. Why did you move across the country? It sounds like you moved before he lost his job. A self-respecting man would at least be looking for work. He isn't being honest with you. Talk to him, and don't allow him to manipulate you by complaining that you read that email. It sounds like he has been lying to you for a long time. You would be better off alone than supporting a liar. Girl, you're already on your own. Get rid of the dead weight. I know you're hoping for a miracle, but why would he bother to get a job when he knows you'll do all the heavy lifting? Tell him he has to GTFO. Don't say you love him, because he doesn't love you. He is showing you how much he values you by his current behavior. What exactly do you love about him, and are you willing to support him for the next 30 years? It is weird he'd prefer waiting for unemployment rather than working. His actions say he doesn't care about the financial burden you're under. You need to give him an ultimatum. You'll resent him more each day if not. Is he a gamer by any chance? I'm starting to lose interest in my F34 boyfriend, M34, because of his worldview. English isn't my native language, so please excuse any mistakes. My boyfriend and I have been dating for less than a year. From the beginning, I've been quite open about my views, and so was he. I'm definitely more left-leaning, he's more conservative, but we share the same views on basic topics, abortion, partnerships, not having children, etc. He's a good guy who's been through a lot in his life. He lost both parents as kid and has been basically on his own since he was 18. We've had a few discussions recently about the current political climate in the country, and we mostly agree on the far-right sentiment. However, we started a discussion about sexual violence against women in our country, and he believes that the punishment for a false accusation should be the same as for rape, which, to me, equates these crimes. He believes our country is a paradise for women and doesn't believe the statistics are underreported. When we discussed with friends the fact that 1 in 5 women report sexual violence, and each girl shared her story, he still claimed it was a fabricated statistic. When I cite some sick statements by politicians about women, he immediately quotes some stupid, harmless comment from the left. He thinks I'm panicking, believing that if the right wing comes to power, we're one step closer to what happened in Afghanistan. In his opinion, it's impossible for something like that to happen in Europe. And when I cite the limitations we have as women, he says that's wrong. But he doesn't see the whole picture. I also noticed that when I write about the stupid statements or behavior of more conservative politicians, he usually responds that they are so fucked up. And when I comment on what more left-wing politicians have done, he starts a whole tirade about what they said. Sometimes I feel like he approaches our relationship and his conservative views like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. I'm starting to doubt how much I actually trust him in our agreed-upon core values. Am I looking for problems where there aren't any? How can I bring up the conversation without coming off as crazy? That these kinds of comments are making me lose trust in him. In choosing a partner, you're also choosing your support system for life's ups and downs. If, God forbid, something were to happen along the lines of what's described in this post, do you trust him to support you? At this point, I would skip any right-leaning guy. I am too old for that. I need a partner and supporter. I can't imagine having sex with someone like that. Woman shrugging, medium skin tone. For the record, good guys don't believe, think, or say things like this. He's a conservative. I dated one that was a little ambiguous about it, or tried to play the both sides are fucked up, but at the end of the day, the man is a conservative who wants to fuck a liberal and doesn't agree with or respect your views. I married my ex-husband despite having similar concerns as you mentioned. Trust me when I say, they only got worse. It never became violent or anything, but I felt like I was losing myself slowly. Death by 1,000 cuts. After one fight we had talking about kids, he told me I wasn't allowed to raise our future kids in aspects of my culture as a Pacific Islander because he wasn't raised with them, he's white. Nor was I allowed to teach them parts of my native language, because he felt it was unfair that he'd be left out. I just never looked at him the same after that, and eventually just the thought of being intimate with him made me want to vomit. It felt wrong. Took a while to rebuild myself and remember who I was. Don't let the same happen to you. Marriage or break with my girlfriend, 31M and 29F. I am 31M and my girlfriend is 29F. We have been together for almost 4 years. Recently she has been constantly bringing up the topic of marriage and kids, but first has to be marriage. She is saying that her clock is ticking, which I understand, and basically I either propose soon or we are done. I love her and want to be with her, but I am not 100% convinced of marriage in general, and especially the high costs it involves. She expects me to pay for it all as well. As a counteroffer, I told her that we could have a quick council wedding, just the two of us, if marriage gives you the security you need, but she dreams of a big wedding. Again, I understand her dreams, but I just am not willing to have such a big party for huge money. I don't want to lose her, because I love being with her, but this seems like a make or break moment. Those of you who have been in similar situations, how have you managed to solve it? You've been 4 years, have you had financial talks? Who earns what? How to pull money together, budgets, retirement plans. By this time you two should be on the same page regarding main issues, and money is one of them. It seems she either has no idea of your financial status, or something else is missing here. If you aren't over the moon excited to get married and have kids with her, break up. I feel like this is about more than a big wedding. After almost 4 years, still not convinced of marriage in general, stands out here. She's not wrong for pushing for what she wants. Ultimatum isn't great, but at least she's being honest with you. The money thing is valid, but weddings don't have to be £30,000. This feels like a convenient shield for deeper hesitation. If you want to marry someone, you don't frame it as high costs and counter offers. If you don't, that's okay, but dragging it out wastes both your times. I think you need to decide first if you want to marry her. You are talking a lot about the wedding, but not much about the marriage. The wedding is one day. Marriage is supposed to be the rest of your life. If you want that with her, then you both need to compromise for the one day. Just wondering how long she's been bringing it up for. Have your individual views on marriage/wedding been discussed before? I personally wouldn't advise you to get married purely because the other person wants to while you don't. Going along with something you're not fully comfortable with usually doesn't end well. If you're at this crossroads where you're even considering breaking up, you shouldn't be getting married. The threshold for breakup is wide and varied. The threshold for marriage should be narrow. Is my 21F boyfriend, 21M, a narcissist? Or just really passionate about religion? So my boyfriend, 21M, and I, 21F, have been dating for almost 2 years now. He was raised in a very Christian household, going to church his entire life, praying before every meal, in the morning and before bed, the whole shebang. I, on the other hand, was raised in a household that was based off Christian morality and teachings, but we were never practicing religion unless I went to church with my grandma or babysitter as a child. My boyfriend knew my background when we began talking, and I was nothing other than supportive with his religious beliefs. I would go to church with him and adapted to praying before meals with him. Even though that does not come naturally to me, and I don't necessarily see the religious benefits of these activities, I can understand the psychological/sociological benefits though. The issue I'm facing is that I am a science major in college. I am very passionate about science, including evolution and genetics. My boyfriend has never had an issue with me being a science nerd. In fact, he supports it. Until it comes to religion or vaccinations/medical advice/etc. We have had many fights over religion, and it is always him trying to convince me to be more Christian and more yoked with the spirit. I will simply talk about how evolution was even a theory, and he slams me down by saying, nope. This story is in the Bible, it's 100% fact, and nothing else is real. And he will do that over and over again with countless different examples to try and change my opinion. I have expressed to him that I do not feel the need to go/feel comfortable going to church every Sunday, but I will go with him. And he will get upset and say that I need to be saved. No matter what I try to explain to him, he never actually gets how this makes me feel. Basically, I'm exhausted from him always trying to tell me that my way of viewing religion and my own beliefs are wrong and stupid when I've spent the last 2 years standing by his side supporting his. Is he a narcissist and actually doesn't care about my opinion whatsoever, or is he just stubborn about religion? Too long did not read. My boyfriend likes to argue that the way I view the world is wrong and I need to be a devoted Christian to be right, when I've supported his religious beliefs our entire relationship despite not having the same ones. For goodness sake, leave this religious nut job and find a more normal boyfriend. You two are completely incompatible. You are a scientist trying to date a guy who doesn't believe in science. Religious incompatibility is one of the biggest predictors of breakups and divorces. I'd advise you to cut your losses and find someone whose beliefs more closely match your own, because he is not going to stop hounding you. Is my 21F boyfriend, 21M, a narcissist? Nothing you've mentioned here sounds remotely like narcissism, which I'm sure as a scientist you've researched the characteristics of. What he is religious to the point of denying fact. Whether or not that's a mental disorder is up for debate. You're unlikely to change one another. No, he's not a narcissist. He's brainwashed. Find a better boyfriend. This might get me downvoted, but whenever I talk to a guy on a dating app and he somehow brought up religion, I politely shut him down. I think for people who seriously practice religion, they need someone who respects it and supports them. I myself don't understand religion. I think everyone can and should believe in what makes them happy and feel secure, as long as it doesn't actively hurt someone else. But yeah, I could not date someone who is this much into religion. That's just never gonna work for me. Can you live with that for the rest of your life? Do you both want children? How will they be raised?